Hello guys, Sujara speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode number 910. Today we react to A Nightmare on Elm Street with Shadowflare, a very OddGamer episode number 51. And react to this beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you.
Last time on the Fairly Odd Gamer.
I wish for this horror-themed month to be changed into the Scary Odd Gamer.
Wow.
Whoa. Hold on there.
And who, may I ask, are you?
My name's Shadowflare.
What do you say, Shadow? Shall we slash our way through this game the same way the original movies did?
Sounds like a plan to me, gamer.
Perfect! Wait, what? You're telling me I have to kill Jason again? You've got to be kidding me. How is that even possible? But is he really dead? We're not telling. Ha ha ha. The NES version of Friday the 13th is so boring that I'd rather be asleep to play more of this garbage.
Very OddGamer presents the Scary OddGamer. The Scary OddGamer in pause. Scary OddGamer in Nightmare on Elm Street. Be watching some remix for you, buddy. Continue on. Special guest reviewer Shadowflare. Continue on. Wow.
Help!
Hux? Is it you? Where are you? I'm downstairs.
Don't tell him. I want this to be a surprise.
Don't worry, Hux. I'm coming. I always knew magic would help in any situation. Oh no.
Wow.
Roll of the dice to see how much I can torment you.
Not so fast, Oogie.
Fairly Odd Gamer. Long time no see.
What are you doing with Hux?
Well, since the claw-wielding madman you call Freddy Krueger decided not to attend the proceedings, I had to do the job for him. However, I'll let your little server mutt go. For a prize, of course.
Okay. How much?
Oh, nothing really. Except with this!
A Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES?
Wow.
But you weren't even around when that movie came out.
Wow.
True. But I'm the Oogie Boogie Man. And I was around long before Freddy Krueger. By 2 centuries. So what's it gonna be? Me or your mutt?
Before we begin, I'll be right back. I'm back, folks. I'm so sorry, folks. We're 3 minutes, 27 seconds in, and I just ate my snacks and everything. But let's just continue where we left off, shall we? Continue in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Greetings, internet viewers. It is I, the Scary Odd Gamer. As some of you may recall, I had to review Friday the 13th for the NES.
You mean we had to review Friday the 13th for NES?
Oh, right. You're still here.
I enjoyed working with you too.
Yeah. Well, thanks to a certain boogeyman from downstairs, I now have to review another horror game based on, get this, another slasher horror franchise. With that said, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, sweet!
If you watch this remix, for you by T1.
Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite horror series of all time. The movies tell the tale of former maniac Freddy Krueger as he returns from the dead to seek vengeance upon those who killed him by stalking their children in their nightmares. Just the whole concept always freaked me out as a kid. A killer who can turn the world of dreams, your own imagination, against you, and you're defenseless to stop him. The series was originally created by the late Wes Craven, who would later become known for the Scream franchise.
Even though Wes Craven already had a string of horror movies, including The Hills Have Eyes and The Last House on the Left, it was A Nightmare on Elm Street that made Craven a well-known name to the horror genre when it was first released in theaters on November 9th, 1984.
And much like Friday the 13th, Nightmare became a multimedia giant, spawning tons of sequels, merchandise, comics, even a pop music album for some reason. It was unstoppable.
And unbeknownst to all of us, there would also be a video game tie-in for the NES simply titled A Nightmare on Elm Street. Though judging by the look of the cover, it's pretty obvious that the last person who played this game was Freddy Krueger himself.
Now I'm playing with power.
No, I've seen this before, and it was an AVGN episode. Continue on. When Nintendo Power Magazine. Makes sense.
So, for the sake of saving Hux Gamer, let's begin this nightmare. Like Friday the 13th, this game was also produced by Liver's Just Neglect.
Yeah, LJN, better known as, Laughing Joking Nut Nuts, also known as, if Remix watching this, Laughing Joking, Numbskulls. Continue on.
Unlike Friday the 13th, it was developed by Rare Software, not Atlas.
Wait.
Wow.
That?
Yeah, Rare Limited. Better known the games like Imitation Run NES, Wheel of Fortune, these three games, and of course, Jeopardy, other game shows in NES, so forth. Continue on.
The same software, not Atlas.
Wait. That rare?
The same. Already this game is better than Friday the 13th because we get to hear the main theme from the movie. Somewhat.
Yeah, it's a different tempo, but that's definitely the Nightmare on Elm Street theme. Who composed it, Gamer?
Well, according to my research, by that I mean browsing the internet, the game was composed by, and I'm not kidding, David Wise.
And if you watch this remix, let me check out David Wise right now. He does Imitation for the NES, but he also did a great job doing Wheel of Fortune for the NES. No, he's not a jurist. He was not a writer. He was a great composer, British composer. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, yes. Imitation for the NES. He did a great job in some of these games, including Salome, Wizards and Warriors, RC Pro Aim for the NES. I'm not sure what it was at the time. Yeah, great job of that. And Marvel Madness, World Games, WWF WrestleMania, Zelda, John L.D.'s quarterback, California Games, Tablet 6 Cents. I played this before. Amazing House of NHL, Sesame Street ABC, Hollywood Squares, Watch Alex Paris for you. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I saw this AVGN episode. But anyway, Jordan vs. Bird 101, Triangle, Hornsword, Warriors 2, Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy Junior Editions for the NES, Silent Service. If you watch this remix, double dare for you, buddy. Wheel of Fortune Family Edition, 25th Anniversary Edition of Jeopardy. Captain Skyhawk, DT Rock, something like that. Pinbot, Snake, Rattle, and Roll, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. NARC, something like that. The one that gamers mentioned before, Super Core Ball. Could that? Title War Arch Rails WWF WrestleMania Challenge. Rogers Village for you, Baylor. Solar Jetman Hunt for the Golden Rush Warp Ship, something like that. The Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, he should play that. Anyway, it wasn't by. Let me get a new tab and see what it was. But it was a Game Kick Boy. If you watch this remix for you, but it's not by LGN. It's not? Really? It's a handheld game. Okay. Makes sense. Anyway, LJ... Okay, whatever. If you watch this remix, I don't know. It's LGN episode. Anyway, makes sense. Anyway, Wizards of the Warriors, Chapter X, 4 Ways of Fear, okay. Super Off-Road. Sesame ABC 1 to 3. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway, Nintendo Campus Champion Challenge 1991. Battle Roads Game Boy Edition. Super RC Pro Aim. Sneaky Snakes. WWF Superstars. Watch this, Billy. Battletoads. I haven't played this before. I have played this once, but it's game over for me. But anyway, Beetlejuice, High Speed, and a few games 92. 3D games 93. There's a lot of Donkey Kong games. So much more. You know, and ukulele. I haven't played ukulele in my life, but anyway, you know, there's a lot in that day was composed. From 1985 to so forth. But anyway, enough rambling. Continue on.
Wait, what?
Yep, before Grant Kirkhope, David Wise became the composer for most Rare games. You know another Rare game that David Wise did music for? The Donkey Kong Country series. So
yeah, he did game shows as well, especially the Sesame Street games. As I mentioned in the reaction video. Continue on.
Freddy Krueger shares a connection with Donkey Kong. Let's just pray he doesn't team up with K. Rool or make a cameo in the upcoming Mario movie.
Yeah, Mario movie, yeah. Yes, I react to that as part of the Ultra React special event. And yeah, part of the Nintendo Red event I did as part of the reaction video, by the way. Oh, hey, Mo. Thank you.
You're welcome. Continue.
Okay, it's part of our special event, by the way. And you know what? It's gonna make more sense to make and maybe release in 2023. So there you go on that. Continue on.
Give them any ideas.
Too late.
Darn it, Internet.
Also, did you know this game can have up to 4 players? If that's the case, then why isn't this game part of the NES library for Switch Online? No need to clone yourself, and you can start an online meetup of you and 3 buddies playing co-op Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyway, you play as this jazzercise dude. Heck, for all I know, he could be Johnny Depp. And yes, this was Johnny Depp's first major step into motion pictures.
Jesus! Continue on.
Years before becoming Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, years right before Willy Wonka. Years before Willy Wonka. Years before Hollywood Vampires metal band. Continue on.
Nightmare on Elm Street game is much more straightforward than Friday the 13th in terms of playstyle. All you have to do is enter each house on Elm Street and platform your way through them, Castlevania style.
Okay.
There's one key thing to look out for, though. In every house, you need to collect a certain amount of bones. The obvious question is, why?
Why?
Well, these bones are Freddy's, and you're collecting them so you can destroy them in the furnace at Elm Street High School.
And before moving on, I must point out that all the bones you find are generic dog bones, and none of them are skeletal in any way whatsoever. Same basic controls as Friday the 13th apply here, only you have to hold up in order to enter a building. However, the only weapon you have is your own Fist of Fury. You can punch enemies like snakes, zombies, rats, flies, and even bats.
Great survivors.
You also have a mirror, which at first you think is your health bar. But no, it's actually your dream meter. Apparently you can get tired the longer you progress through the game. However, your dream meter depletes over time, and you can even lose chunks of it if you get hit by an enemy. Thankfully, you replenish your dream meter by, no joke, drinking coffee.
Wow.
In the world of YouTube, the only person who'd be safe from any Freddy Krueger attack is Some Call Me Johnny.
If you
Wow.
fall asleep, you're sent to the dream world.
Oh,
Enemies
man.
transform and deal more damage. But
Wow.
you are given more defense options. By collecting dream tokens from the waking world, you get access to special dream powers. By pressing select, you can transform into your Dream Warrior ability. There's the Gymnast, the Wizard, and the Ninja. I'll tell you this right now, my favorite is the Ninja. He has a jump kick that's super useful for dealing with airborne enemies. If you find a radio, the loud music wakes you up.
Well, I
Wow.
enjoy using the ninja, especially for boss fights. My favorite would have to be the wizard because he has floaty jumps and has Vegeta-style smash from Dragon Ball Z. But the only downside is once you're awake, you lose your Dream Warrior abilities and go back to your normal abilities. So why not just stay in Dream Mode for the remainder of the game? Well, there are two reasons. One, you automatically wake up after defeating a boss more on those later. And second, Freddy can pop up at any time when it cuts attack saying Freddy's coming.
Wow.
Just attack him with your abilities until his health meter depletes to 0, and he'll jump off the game's boundaries, hoping to return once again.
Huh. You know, that actually reminds me. This was originally going to be a very different game.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, according to some old promotional images that made their way online, the original idea was to have you play as Freddy, hunting and killing the kids on Elm Street.
Jesus!
Kinda like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the Atari 2600.
Which I saw in AVGN episode. Continue on.
Which was apparently the reason it was changed. Texas Chainsaw Massacre flopped because of how controversial it was. LJN never said it officially, but many sources have speculated that Nightmare was changed to avoid facing the same fate. But yeah, Nightmare monsters are wimps, aren't they?
Yeah.
What? You're calling me a wimp?
Well, in the movie, you were defeated by a loose thread.
Because it was Jack who pulled the loose thread.
Maybe next time, pick a form that is a giant potato sack, and maybe you'll have a shot.
Yeah, idiot.
Tell him, Shadow.
Oh, don't tell me you're on his side too. And don't worry, my little mutt. By the time they finish my little gift, you will be dead.
Again, idiot. Loser. Continue on.
There is a catch to all this. Before you're allowed to move on to the next room in any house, you have to collect every single bone in that room. And you're not allowed to miss one. If you do, you have to go back and search every nook and cranny to make sure you find it. And some of them are easy to miss because they blend in with the background scenery. Honestly, how was I supposed to see that?
Actually, before we move on, can we just talk about how ridiculous the enemies are in the dream world? Paper ghosts with flailing arms, satanic guys, spiders with Freddy's deformed head. Who designed these enemies? A 10-year-old that nobody understands?
You could say the same about the bosses. They include Freddy's claw hand and head on bungee chains. Freddy as a bat and as a ghost. Even
Jesus!
Freddy's head and hand just floating around.
And for the most part, you'll have absolutely no idea where to go next unless you have a guide with you.
Yeah.
In my case, watch the full gameplay video on your phone while playing this game at the same time.
Yeah.
Besides the random abandoned buildings, other locations in this game include the junkyard, the cemetery, Freddy's house, I think, and Elm Street High. And it's pretty much the same thing from here.
Freddy's house and Elm Street High are the toughest levels in the game, packed to the brim with infinitely respawning enemies and insta-kill pits that are way too easy to get knocked back into. At the end of it all, you face a boss rush of every single Freddy form you've fought thus far.
Jesus.
I'll conclude with a final epic battle against the exact same fight from the Dreamworld encounters. Well, that was anticlimactic.
Eventually, you defeat Freddy as you throw Freddy's bones into the furnace. So the evil is purged. Fire purifies all. The bones are ashes, soon to be dust. Freddy, trademark, is dead, and the nightmare is ended. Or has it? Actually, it is, because there hasn't been another Nightmare on Elm Street game since this game came out.
Oh my god.
And now, my little green friend, it is time for my plan of killing you to be complete. I think it calls for another little dice roll. Wait, where's my dice?
Hey, Boogeyman! Looking for these?
What?
Also, I finished a little nightmare game.
We finished it.
You're the one who called me a wimp.
Yeah? What are you gonna do about it, potato sack?
I was hoping you'd ask.
Hey!
Oh, he really is a shadow.
It's not even funny!
That's not funny.
Yeah, that's what I said, dogs! Like... Number one, Oogie is like I said, idiot. And 2, loser. Do I have to mention this again in future episodes of LJ Reacts? I don't know. Continue on.
Me? And now, Hux. It's time to put you to sleep.
Sleep? That's it! I wish Oogie was asleep!
Fool! There's nothing you can do to stop.
Thank God! Thank God it was over.
Thanks, dude. Now, gamer, you gotta wake up before he does.
What have we here?
Wait, what? How can you sleep if you're in a dream?
Easy. There's no logic in horror movies.
Fair enough.
Just do it!
Okay, fine. I wish I was awake.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
What a dream he was
Weird
doing.
dream.
Tell me about it.
Yes.
Shadow, you're back to normal.
Thank
Comparatively.
God.
So, what exactly happened in
And thank God Oogie was no longer an idiot. Or loser, rather. I think, why bother in his dream? Continue on.
Well, I was playing an NES game called Nightmare on Elm Street, and you were there.
Really? Well, what do you think of the game?
Come on, with a vast difference. Continue on.
Well, Nightmare on Elm Street isn't that bad, but it's certainly not good either. At least it's better than Friday the 13th in terms of gameplay and music. Well, except for finding all of Freddy's bones in every area of the game. While the graphics look okay, it would have been nice to play as one of the characters from the movie. Plus, the enemies looked like they were child-made, as if they were entries for an art contest or something. Plus, I had more fun playing the dream world rather than the real world, not only because of the Dream Warrior abilities, but you can also fight against Freddy Krueger whenever he pops up. And yeah, having the boss battles be different variants of Freddy aren't that well thought out. However, it would have had the potential of being a great game if it weren't for the game being so difficult. The final boss rush felt more of a letdown because I could tell they gave up when they made Freddy the final boss of the game, even though I've already fought him before in the Dream Worlds. Overall, Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES is okay, but it's definitely not a game I would recommend adding to your collection unless you're a huge fan of Freddy Krueger.
I can agree with that. Nightmare was certainly a more fun game than Friday the 13th, and even managed to stay very true to the movies with mechanics like the Dream Meter and the Dream Warriors. Having said that, the lack of any real creativity in the enemy and boss design, as well as the insane difficulty, are a bit of a turnoff for me. Had these two elements been improved on, I would call this an underrated classic. As it is, it's just kind of okay.
While LJN games are more of a miss than a hit, I do appreciate the effort they try to put into them, even though they never had the payoff they were looking for. With that said, the Scary OddGamer has come to an end. But I do hope to review more Halloween-themed games in the years to come. And thanks Shadowflare for helping out.
Glad to be here, man. And I greatly appreciate it if you guys would come check out my channel as well. I mostly review movies based on video games or anything that piques my interest. Though, bear in mind, I do have a much edgier sense of humor than our Fairly Odd compatriot.
Okay then. Hey, remember that one review I talked about previously? Well, I'm actually saving it for this next one. Why, you may ask? Because this next review is number 50. And I can assure you, this is one review you do not want to miss out on. I'm the Scary OddGamer, and we shall meet again next year. Take care, everyone.
The end.
How's it going, dudes? OddGamer here. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for upcoming videos.
Well said, Hux. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and some of my character buddies on TikTok. And if you like, you can have one of my character buddies do a short video for you via video commission. Links to all of those in the description below. And so, without further ado, I wish that one of my character buddies finished with a video.
Man, I hate that OddGamer. Still better company than Jack, though. At least I stay in one piece. And I suppose you all like that fairly odd brat too, so I suggest supporting him on Patreon. It can give you access to perks like chatting with fellow fans and patrons, having your name featured in the credits by people less talented than me, obviously, and exclusive access to his videos before they're available to the public at large. Now there's a gamble you won't regret taking. Oh, and it seems there are two victims, or I mean, people in particular, who deserve special mention. Alexander Bone, or Wisdom Totes, and Flash Figure. Perhaps we'll see more patrons in the future join us. After all, it's much more fun around here when lives are on the line. Not mine, of course, but yours, my friends. Now that'd be just fine. Until we meet again.
Yeah, what are we gonna say, Oogie Boogie? So that was the Very Odd Gamer episode 51, which is gonna be A Nightmare on Elm Street with Shadowflare special guest. What do I think about this episode? I would like to say it was amazing. So far, this episode was This episode was a completely successful episode overall. And that was LJPCBM episode number 910. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one, which will be LJPCBM episode number 911, which is going to be about Very Odd Gamer, episode number 50, real 50, our 950th show, which will be about Sonic Colors. Till next time, Sue Joseph Bumpy so baby. Good morning, guys. Guys, soon. Till then, the Jumper saying out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried all the time. Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.